Hey guys, Sandy here, and today I am super excited to be using my Donut Builder Stencil from scrappingreflections.com. I am going to be scrapbooking this photograph of Lana that I took. She got her first job at a donut shop, so I am going to make the donuts. Let's see what I can do. Now I'm going to go ahead and just start going right at it with the Builder Stencil. I am using some Distress ink with just a blender brush, and I am blending through it. I'm using antique linen just because I think that it is a good color for a donut. Can't really say that I have any ink that is donut colored, so here we go, it's the best one. Now I am using the next part of the Builder Stencil here, and I am using some neon chroma glaze from Brutus Monroe. Now this is a glaze that once it dries, it stays shiny. So the velveteen glazes go matte, but the chroma glazes stay shiny. This is definitely a neon glaze, you guys. Probably a little bit hotter pink of a glaze than I've actually ever seen on a real donut, but you know, we're just doing the things. So now I'm going to place another donut on my page, and then I realize I have put this donut too close to the other one, and I won't be able to put it on there without laying my stencil onto the glaze. So really simple to go ahead and just move off of my paper, as long as I can hold the stencil over top of the paper. There you go, Sandy. You moved your purple tape so it holds on perfectly. So now I've got another donut. I'm going to go ahead and go with a different medium now. So I'm going to use some glitter paste from Bo Bunny, and this is a pink one. And I'm just going to stencil that on. Just a nice thin little line. And again, I am using my dedicated glitter paste spatula for that. And since I'm going to be cutting out these donuts, that little bit of glitter paste that's off to the side isn't a big deal. That's just going to get trashed anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and do yet another donut, because once you start, you just can't stop. This donut, however, is not going to be a filled donut. This donut is going to be one with the hole in the middle. So I'm just going to take the donut hole, temporarily adhere it down to the middle of the donut here, and then go ahead and ink that guy up. Now this time I go for some glitter Nouveau, what do they call it? Everybody calls their glitter paste something different. Some Nouveau Glimmer Paste, and this is in Garnet Red, and I'm going to use that to make sprinkles on the top. So now I have a donut with sprinkles. I will pull out that little donut hole, and then there you go. You got a full-on donut. So I have a plain donut, and I also have one that still needs something. So I decide to use the little topping again. Now I'm thinking about the second set of sprinkles on here, because the second set of sprinkles has hearts and sprinkles on it, both of them. And then I'm going to just use my spatula here, and then once I pull it off, I'm like, oh, this looks a little funky. My poor little naked donut with a little bit of sprinkles. So my intention with this stencil was to have those heart sprinkles on top of kind of this little glazy bit, or even on a donut that had a hole in it, because most of the time, you know, sprinkled donuts have holes. But I just didn't like the way it looked. Maybe it was my donut color, because the donuts are a little light. They're kind of looking like those French cruller donuts, color-wise. So we're going to go ahead and put those off to the side to dry. I'm excited about the donuts. They look like donuts, and I'm just excited about them. I'm kind of staring at them because I'm just staring at them. Who knows? So I'm going to put those aside to dry, and then I pull out some papers from my stash. Now this is a really old Doodlebug glitter paper, and I just decided to go for it because, you know, my donuts have glitter all over them. I did go to my 6x8 paper pads, pulled out a bunch of those papers as well. Some of them are from, I think actually both of these are from Fifth and Monaco. And then that swan paper, honestly guys, I don't remember if that's an Echo Park or a Simple Stories. I don't know. So there we go. I just matted Lana's photo on the pink. And I'm just trying to line it up to kind of figure out where I want it to go and then how I want my donuts. So the donuts, the only thing I did was cut them out with a pair of scissors, and then I used my pen blade, which is a fancy name for an X-Acto knife, to cut out the center of that donut. I decided to pull in the plain donut as well because I think that I'm going to be able to add that in. But right now I'm like, these donuts don't look like they're fully cooked. So I grab another Distress ink, and I'm just going to go around the edges a little bit, and now the donuts look a little bit more cooked. I feel like if I would have started with this ink, the donuts would have looked burnt, but just adding it at the end, I mean, they look cooked, so nobody's going to get a doughy donut, right? Right. At least that's the way my brain is working while I'm doing this. Now, the chroma glaze on here is super neon and super bright, so I actually run my Distress Oxide over top of it just to kind of like tone it down a little bit. I mean, I was the one that chose the neon red chroma glaze, so I was the one that ended up with that hot color. I could have went with something different, could have redone it, but I didn't. I'm just going for it. So now I've got the donuts down, and I'm just trying to figure out what I'm going to do with this big block of green space. So this is a lot of green space. So I go back to my 6x8 paper pads yet again. I pulled this one from one of Chamel's, and it's got a rocket ship on it, but it's pink. So we're gonna get rid of the rocket ship, and I'm just gonna use the pink part here. And I'm thinking that this is where my title and my journaling is going to go. Now, originally in my head, where that curve is on that paper, I was thinking my title was going to kind of move along that curve. It turns out it doesn't. It turns out my title goes right over top of the donuts. I'm not happy with my donut placement. I'm like, what is going on? Why can't I figure this out? The donuts are super cute, but they're just not going where like they don't work for me. I'm freaking out about it. I'm like, why are the donuts not working? And then I figure, you know what? You need more than just 2 donuts. You need 3 donuts in a group. I mean, donuts come by the dozen, so the more donuts, the better, right? Right. At least that's how I'm going to justify it. So I figure out where my little journaling box is going to go, and then I'm going to go ahead and put the donuts down. So this one with the sprinkles has been cut in half, so it's going to kind of peek out boy, can't even speak today, guys. Going to peek out behind the donuts here at the bottom, and it kind of looks like a rainbow with a super huge clouds at the end of it, but we're going to change that up so it doesn't look that way. I decided to cut out that other donut that I created, and then again, I am just trying to kind of get that super neon color down a little bit by rubbing my Distress Oxide over top of it. I'm going to adhere it down with some ATG and just build it down here. And then I'm like, ooh, I'm going to cut this guy in half as well so I can have a glitter glazed donut in both of my donut clusters. And I'm like, this is getting to be super cute. My journaling is going to go here, kind of like figuring out where it's going to go. And then I'm like, oh, my title should go over top of the donuts. Almost had a big snafu and mistake when I first pulled out those big red letters. They were not working. And I was thinking about using those figures you saw there, but the colors were just a little too pale and pastel for all this bright, sparkly goodness I have going on. So I decided to just go with some white chipboard thickers. Now, originally I was going to spell it donuts, D-O-U-G-H, but I did not have enough of the letters, so I just spelled it the D-O-N-U-T-S. And it kind of fits better on top of the donuts anyway, so it totally works. So I'm just going to go ahead and get those letters. Now I tore a little piece of the white off of the S, so I'm just going to grab that Nouveau Deluxe adhesive and put it down on there, and then you don't even really see where I actually tore the letters. So there we go, and I think that it looks super cute. I was thinking about taking the title and making it Time to Make the Donuts, but I couldn't really figure out where that M was going to go over here. It just didn't look right to me. I was thinking about using the numbers for bringing in the date, but the date was way too large. So now I pull in these little guys right here, and I believe these are My Mind's Eye letter stickers. I want to say that they are. I got them at a Stamp and Scrapbook Expo a couple years ago, and there's no identifying marks on it, so I'm not sure, but I think they're My Mind's Eye. So I'm just going to make my title be Make Donuts instead of Time to Make the Donuts. And if any of you guys remember the Dunkin' Donuts commercials from way back when that guy with the mustache would wake up at 4 a.m. and say time to make the donuts, that's where I was going for with it. But like I said, I couldn't figure out how to put that title on there without it covering up too much of the donuts. So the title is just Make Donuts. It's kind of like I'm ordering it, Make Donuts. So now I'm just going to adjust the donuts, and I think I adjust them right back to the exact position that they were in, so I really didn't need to futz around with that whatsoever. The paper is a little bit difficult right now. It doesn't want to stick to the glitter paper, and sometimes that just happens. For some reason, some papers just don't want to stick, and my ATG was not cutting it even when I was putting pressure on it. So I'm looking at it and I'm thinking I need to add something else. So I'm gonna pop this off. See how loose that is on top of that glitter paper? So I popped that off, and I'm going to use my liquid adhesive. That is a great tip to know that when your stuff won't stick to glitter paper with your regular dry adhesive or your tape runner, just grab some liquid adhesive and put it down, because that stuff will stick. So now I am getting this layout down. I don't have to worry about it falling apart or falling off the glitter paper anymore, and I am happy with how it is looking. So now I'm just going to grab my favorite pen for journaling, which is a Muji pen. They just write super smoothly, and like it just makes your handwriting look so neat. Now I'm a little bit nervous because Muji decided to file for bankruptcy. And I'm not exactly sure which one they filed for. All I know is that when I go online to their online store, there's a lot of stuff that you used to be able to order online that doesn't show up or shows out of stock right now. So a little bit nervous about that. The good thing is though, my husband got me a whole slew of Muji pens for my birthday, so at least I'll have some stock if they ever do go away. So I'm going to go ahead and show you a couple close-ups. And there it is, you guys. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to check out the link down below so you can get your own Donut Builder Stencil. And I will see you again real soon for another video.